So I never really shared with you guys that a little while back, me and le boyfriend took a little vacation. Was it a year ago? 2 years? I don't know. What is time? Time is meaningless to me. Vacations are not something that I ever did a lot growing up, so this was very exciting to me. I got no footage of myself for some reason, even though I really liked my outfit, but we finally made it to Florida, which was my first time ever being in Florida, and yeah, I mean, other than this sort of obnoxious amount of b-roll of us traveling to our destination, I had a wonderful time. The drive really wasn't that bad. We checked into our B&B, and the first thing we did was hit the road to the beach. So like, this was a beautiful beach, but in all honesty, it was awful. You'll notice that I have to wear flip-flops the entire time because it was so much, like instead of sand, it was just like rocks. And then we tried so hard to get the GoPro in the ocean to get some like cool underwater footage, and all we got was just the waves beating us to a pulp. So sorry that it's not quite as aesthetic as I wish it was. It was a little rough out there. It was not at all like the beaches that I'm used to going to. But really, this is all just me complaining, and it was not a bad trip at all. I still really enjoyed it. And then we headed back to our B&B that had a little surprise waiting for me. I tried to get some GoPro footage of this amazing koi pond for you guys, and it went not much better than trying to get GoPro footage in the ocean did. Yeah, I don't know, it was just a lot cloudier than I was expecting. It was hard for me to see what I was doing. I thought it was going to be like so beautiful, but it you know, it's okay. I still really enjoyed it. I still thought it was beautiful, and I hope that you guys enjoy it too. After that, me and my boyfriend did regular vacation things, ate good food, went to things like lighthouses and other like local attractions. I even climbed to the top, which was a big deal because heights are not my favorite. I found a cool lizard, and then I did maybe my favorite thing of the whole trip, even though everyone makes fun of me for enjoying it so much. I got to feed pigeons. I don't know what it is, I just really like birds. So yeah, there's that. Then we finally made it to the alligator farm, which was one of our main draws for going on this vacation, and we saw a cool toucan up front that immediately ran away from us, and then we saw some baby alligators. And when I say we saw some, I mean we saw like a strange amount of baby alligators, but I love it. Did I mention that I have a strange affinity for alligators? I keep having this recurring dream in which I meet the queen of alligators, who's like this 200-foot long mother of alligators, and she comes up out of the water while I'm on this like drawbridge, and she tells me that like I'm the queen of alligators and they'll listen to me, and then I wake up in a cold sweat. Does that happen to anyone else? I don't know, maybe I've shared too much. Anyway, we also saw some weird looking turtles. I'm going to tell you right now that if you expect me to know anything about anything that we saw, just go ahead and lower your expectations slightly. We saw this amazing albino alligator, which was my first time ever seeing one. It didn't do much, you know. But then there were these little tiny baby albino alligators, and they did all kinds of stuff, which I thought was super interesting, because when is the last time you saw a little baby albino alligator walking around? I mean, I do think they're very cool, but also look at this thing walk. Look at its tiny weird legs. It's a little unsettling, am I wrong? But look at those adorable little footprints! And then in the middle of this sort of alligator park situation was their biggest enclosure, which had just like a countless amount of alligators in it. And look at how fat these things are. I mean, look at them. They look like they're gonna burst. I mean, they're very cute, don't get me wrong, but they weren't doing a whole lot, if you know what I'm saying. We saw some cool snakes, which I know even less about than like other animals. We saw another toucan that didn't run away from us immediately, so that was a nice confidence booster. We saw this little snake with angry eyebrows. Look at his little angry eyebrows. And then we saw this snake that was less angry and had less angry eyebrows. So listen, if I'm not mistaken, they had like hundreds of varieties or species of alligators, and I realize they may not all be alligators. I know that is a Komodo dragon, you know. My point is, I'm not going to be able to identify many things for you guys. We did catch this bird show, which was fun, and basically just a pitch for why you should not keep parrots as pets, but you know, like I said, I'm a bird fan. I love seeing birds. I think they were just one of those things that I was never allowed to have growing up as a kid, and so I just wanted them really badly. They had these amazing parrots just like chilling, just kind of in the middle of this park environment, just doing whatever they wanted, so I really enjoyed that. But anyway, like I was saying, tons of amounts of just crocodiles and alligators and caimans, I guess. Caiman's a thing, right? I don't know. There's just like... here's the thing, they all look sort of the same to me, you know, but I still really, really enjoyed it, and if you guys can just like identify all of this, then I applaud you, and I would look forward to reading it in the comments if you feel so inclined to share your vast reptilian knowledge. They also had so many birds that I had no idea what they were. I keep calling everything with a big beak a toucan, but it's occurring to me that like they may not be toucans. That looks familiar. I think it starts with a G. Am I wrong? I might be wrong. This was one of my favorite moments of the entire trip, because a lot of times you see crocodiles and alligators and they're not doing much, you know, they're just sort of like sunning themselves, but this thing was climbing. Even if he was a little derpy about it, he was moving, and it was so interesting to me. I felt so lucky to be close to witness this, even though it's also terrifying, because just think about this thing like climbing over your back fence into your backyard, which I guess I knew happened in places like Florida, but I never gave much consideration. Very cool, very scary, 10 of 10. Here's some more weird things. Here's turtles doing turtle things. Here's birds just doing their best. There were birds everywhere, like literally everywhere. They were in the trees above people, and people were getting so mad because they were just like pooping all over everything. Apparently it was like nesting season for whatever those are. Egrets? I don't know, question mark. But anyway, then it was time for the alligator feeding, which I had been jazzed about for months leading up to this vacation. This gentleman here was feeding them for our entertainment. We happened to get a pretty good seat. There was this one alligator, I think his name was Chip, who just ate like all of the things that were offered because he would just step on the faces of the other alligators. And he's someone's spirit animal, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this. It was scary, I guess, but oh, there's Chip stepping on faces. Ah, Chip, I miss him. But yeah, I mean, is this not super cool to see these amazing giant reptiles? Well, I mean, then there was this one that was like a little bit so lazy that it couldn't hardly be bothered to eat this that was thrown right in front of it. But still, I see you and I appreciate you, large, overweight alligator. I almost said crocodile. Alligator. And then Chip was getting one more for the road. And yeah, that pretty much wrapped up us watching an alligator feeding, and that was checked off my bucket list, and rest assured it was on my bucket list. Do you ever think about swimming in water like that, just filled with crocodiles or alligators or whatever they are? Wouldn't that be like terrifying but also thrilling? I don't know. Anyway, after that we saw some more snakes, which I still can't identify, of course. Saw some gecko, I say tentatively, some sort of little lizard. Went back and saw some baby crocodiles, which is nice after seeing, you know, their giant relatives. Saw some strangely aggressive squirrels. Oh yeah, there was this little baby egret, I remember now, this little baby egret, which made me feel really sad because I thought it might have fallen from its nest. But it was adorable. And then there was this bird that looked to me like it wanted to shank me, and I think that's probably because it did. Look at it. Look at the glint in its eye. We saw some more cool snakes. Never have too many cool snakes. Then we finally got to walk over this like long rickety looking bridge over alligator infested waters. Did I mention there were birds everywhere? Because there were, and they were screaming the whole time. But anyway, I got to feed alligators off of this bridge and have them like come up and swarm and eat under us, which I thought was so cool. Some people were disturbed, but I was very happy with this experience. Look at me, so happy. Yeah, then we saw some giant tortoises. They weren't the most lively of the bunch, you know, but I Yeah, I feel that. I understand. We saw some lemurs, which always makes me think of Zaboomafoo. Did you guys grow up with Zaboomafoo? Because I definitely did. And then we saw this, which was probably the most enormous tortoise in the entire place. This video really doesn't do him justice. And then we saw this lively little fellow. He's moving it. Look at him. He's an athlete, let me tell you. And then we finished out our trip looking at these weird birds, none of which I can identify, shocker. But yeah, I had an absolutely amazing time. I feel so blessed to be able to go. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you so much for joining me. Like and subscribe and all of that jazz, and I hope that you guys come back next time. Bye guys!